Make the ground shake.
So, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gummy, and today we are here on the second channel doing the interior / exterior for the KFC build that I did on my main channel. So here it is in the final form. You can see here we've got a road, we've got some car parking spots, a drive-through, a little outside eating area, some bushes, details, and then we also did the interior, which I'll show you around. So if you haven't already seen the tutorial and you just stumbled upon this video out of random, or you're just subscribed to my second channel and you're not to my main, then question one, why are you not subscribed to my main? I'm joking, but definitely check it out. I would say it's pretty decent. I might be a bit biased, but hey, but check it out. There's a link to the description, or there's a link in the description to the main channel and also to the actual KFC tutorial, which shows you how to build the building we're actually in. But based on the fact you have actually seen that and you're here from the actual tutorial, this is going to be a tutorial of the interior and exterior. So everything you can see on here, I'll be showing you how to do, and I'll be doing it step by step and hopefully slow enough for you guys to catch up and do it as I go. But with that said, it will be in two parts, the interior and the exterior. I'll have timestamps on screen right now showing you which part is which. So if you only want to build the interior, then it will have a timestamp, you click on it, or you just go to that part in the video, and it will also have the same for the exterior. So with that said, I really do hope you enjoy. A lot of the work went into this, and I'm not used to doing interior / exteriors of builds. I'm not used to building in general apart from statues, so this was new to me and I quite like the final product from it, so I hope you do as well. If you do, again, a rating, a favorite or a share is appreciated, and if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, again, I'll be doing all the interior exterior tutorials on this channel, so that includes the future videos that will be coming up. And yeah, that's definitely something you should stay tuned for. But with that said, I do hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the tutorial. Okay, so welcome to the interior portion of this tutorial. Now, apologies if I do seem a bit off with my explanations in this. It's purely because this is the first time I've ever done a tutorial of an interior design, and it's a bit difficult to describe how to do things, so it's more like reliant on you guys actually seeing what I'm doing and replicating it. But again, give me feedback below in the comments and I'll try and improve for future videos. Now, two things I want to point out before we do start, and it's pretty self-explanatory, is I've made two small changes from what we previously had in the tutorial off camera. Now, one of these changes is there was a strip of red stained clay right here. I removed that, so this gap here is now too thick, and I also changed the roofing section here to red wool, whereas I believe before it was cyan stained clay. Now, the more noticeable of the changes, I would imagine, is I've removed the roof, and what I've done is left a strip of cyan stained clay that goes around the perimeter of what it was before. So this before was solid, and then it had cyan stained clay and glowstone mixed in. Now it's just a perimeter of one thick, and the reason why I've done that is because the design I'm going to be using today for the roof requires it all punched out, and it's very time consuming if you don't have it punched out already, so I thought I'd go ahead and get that out the way straight off the bat. So of course, what you want is just a strip of cyan stained clay going around the top, as you can see here, and you want it to have a 3-block gap because we're going to have a layer of glass, a layer of carpet, and then a layer of light. And this is kind of like the big technique I'm using, is that I want this all lit up without having as much visible lighting as possible. Of course, we want some lighting fixtures, but the majority I want hidden away, and that's how this is going to work. So in terms of this red stained clay here, it should be too thick, and then we have the layer of cyan, and then it just follows the outline like so. So for the lighting, what we're going to be doing is on the top layer, so in this big gap here, on the top layer of the 3 layers, we're going to have a solid layer of sea lanterns. So it's going to be sea lanterns all the way across. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have on the bottom layer, so this is the layer in line with the cyan stained clay, we're going to have a layer of grey glass, so grey stained glass, and it's going to work like this. So as you can see what I'm building here, it's going to be a layer, and it's going to be in line with the cyan stained clay, but you're not going to be able to see the sea lanterns, and the reason why that is the case is because we're going to have grey wool, and we're going to place that on top of the grey glass, and it will give the appearance that the ceiling is grey, but the ceiling will be emitting light. So you can see here, it looks like this. I think it has a nice look. If you disagree, then that's fine. You can change the ceiling up a bit, but this is the design I'm going to be showing you how to do. So again, essentially you want your outline, and then this middle part you want it free tool, so you have a layer of glass, a layer of carpet, because this layer does actually count as a layer. You can't place a block on top, as you can see, and then a layer of sea lanterns. So it's free tool, and you fill this whole area in here using that technique, and I'll do that later on because it does require me to cut, because I'm not going to show you every single part because it takes a while for the ceiling. But we'll come back to that later on, and I'll show you what it looks like. In terms of this red stained clay area of the ceiling though, what we're going to do is in fact lower it one block. So basically from this block here all the way across to the other side to this part here, what we're going to do is lower this whole area one block like so. Now the reason why we're doing this is again to make this cyan stained clay part of the roof more defined and make it less flat and have a bit more shape to it, and that's essentially the reasoning behind it, and I think it just looks generally better off if you do. So again, you lower the red stained clay element of the roof by one block, and then you'll have this element of the roof up one block. So in terms of the roof, that is pretty much all you need to do for that. What we're going to do now, and I think it's something that will get out the way, is the catering / kitchen area. So when you come in the restaurant, the kitchen is going to be to the right, and the seating is going to be to the left. This part here, we added the little desk in the previous video, is going to be the counter. And for the counter, what we're going to do is we're going to start off on the left side right next to the door here. So we've got one block, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th block, we're going to place a stone brick stair should I say, facing towards the drive-through window. We're then going to count 1, 2, 3. On the 4th block, place another one. 1, 2, 3. 4th block, place another one. There should be a 4-block gap on this side. So this is going to be our 3 tills. Now, in between our 3 tills, we're going to have red carpet. So on top of this cyan stained clay, we're going to have a solid row of red carpet, and this goes all the way to the end on both sides. But on the door side, we will be making a few changes to the doorway, so it doesn't matter too much at this point. So what we're also going to go ahead and do is get our sea lanterns, and we're basically going to remove all bushes from this area because it is rather unhygienic to have plants in a eating area. I know I'm probably thinking this through too logically, but it is. And in every corner, we're going to place one sea lantern. So we go over to this corner, and there's 2 in each corner basically. And then what we're going to do is in the center part, this 5 strip here, we're going to place one right in the middle, and that will look like that. Talking about that center strip, what we're going to do is get furnaces and cauldrons. On the center one, we're going to place 5 cauldrons, and as you can see, it covers up the light. You can see it a bit, but it's not too noticeable. And on top of this, we're going to place a row of 5 grey carpets. So it's kind of like grill areas. What we're going to do is on top of this carpet, we're going to place a row of 5 polished andesite. You can go ahead and whack that above, and you'll notice there'll be a block gap, and the lighting looks kind of cool here because it shines through a bit, and I really like that. On top of this row of andesite, we're actually going to need stone brick, which is a block I forgot to get apparently, and we're going to place 1 stone brick slab, 3 stone bricks, 1 stone brick slab. So this is kind of like the ventilation system that goes from above the grill area, and then on the center block from here we're going to go up 2 using stone bricks, and that will take you to the cyan stained clay, which is of course going to be our ceiling. So that's the center point and where the grill areas are. Now what we're going to do is for the outer areas, you can either use furnaces or again you can use the cauldrons. We're going to place 3 on either side. 1, 2, 3. Again, it kind of works better if you do use the cauldrons because they're actually like see-through, so they glow. But again, it doesn't really matter. What we're then going to do is on top of that, we're going to place a row of stone brick slabs. So we're going to do it on the upper row, so it's like half a slab gap in between the furnace and the slab, and we're going to do this on both sides. So it looks like this. One thing to also note, you can go ahead and change these cyan stained clays on either corner of the actual drive-through windows to red stained clay, and if you really wanted to, you could put 2 chairs here as if this was like an open window. You could even open the window if you wanted to, but again, it's not 100% necessary. So that's what the kitchen area should be looking like so far. Now the thing we're clearly missing is the menus. Now I don't know if it's the same in the US, but in the UK they're switching over to a more electronic system where it's just TVs with the menus on. So for our little mini TVs we're going to be using black wool. Each one is going to be 4x2. So we come to the left corner, to the top left corner, and we place a 4x2 of black wool. And we come to the right corner and we do the exact same, and it should match up and look pretty similar and pretty symmetrical. As you can see here, it does. So one more thing we're going to add, just for added detail, is on each till, on the flat side facing towards the customer, we're going to place 3 item frames, and then you can go ahead and whack whatever you want in there. That's normally like what they'd be offering, so a deal, an extra you can buy with your meal. So we're going to put a steak, a cake, and of course it's KFC, so what else could we put but a good old bit of cooked chicken. You could put raw chicken, that might be a bit controversial, but again, that's up to you. You can do what you want to do. So this is what our counter should be looking like so far, and that's pretty much it complete. If you find it to be a bit dark, and it will be a bit dark at this point because we haven't got the lighting in fully at the top, you can go ahead and add some secret lighting under here. Alternatively, you could light this whole place up by just filling the floor with these and putting a row of carpets above, which is something you could definitely consider doing. As you can see here, it lights it up really nice, and then you could just go ahead and put a cover of a light grey carpet like so, and in fact that's really nice, so I'm going to do that myself. So you just go all the way across, filling it in with light grey carpet, and then underneath you have, of course, your layer of sea lanterns. Now, difference between sea lanterns and glowstone, don't know. I'm just choosing to use sea lanterns because I like the colour more. In this case, it's going to be covered up, so it does not matter one bit which one you use out of the two. It's pretty irrelevant. But as you can see here, it's just a case of covering it all up, making sure that you can't see anything underneath. But yeah, that's our kitchen / eating area. And what I'm going to do now is in fact pause the video and fill in the roof and show you a bit of a progress report. So I'll see you in a second. I'm going to cut right now. Okay, so as you can see here, I've gone ahead and filled in the roof, and one thing I know a lot of you guys may be asking is how I actually got out of the roof and placed the final block. All you really need to do is build across to the edge and then just punch down and you'll be able to escape. Like you can see there, I had a little escape hole, and then you'll have a complete roof which has an outline of cyan stained clay, and then the inside part is of course your grey stained glass with the grey carpet on top, and above that you have the sea lantern. So it's really nice, gives a nice effect, and looks like this. So now that's out of the way, what we're going to do is start focusing more on the actual interior in terms of seating and stuff like that. So what we're going to start off by doing is working from the door here, and then we're going to work our way all the way across and round. So starting with the door, what we're going to do is punch out this carpet here and the block below it, and we're going to place a pillar of red stained clay that goes all the way around the door. So that includes breaking this bush and surrounding it with red stained clay like so. Now the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to have a little privacy window here. So what we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, up 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And that will give you a 4x2 area for a kind of window. So for this window we're going to use red stained clay. Of course it's KFC, so we're going with the red theme. So a 4x2 of red stained glass pane. And it gives you a little privacy window, which means we can have some tables here without people walking in and walking straight into them. In terms of this area here, what we're going to do is get rid of this row of red wall here, and we'll punch this one out, and right here we can place a bush, so we can use glowstone, place a piece of glowstone, and then 3 jungle leaves on top, just to fill the gap and have a bit of lighting as well. So, behind this window, as I just mentioned, is going to be some seating, but we're going to focus primarily on this area over here first. So what we're going to do is from this red stained clay here, we're going to leave a 2-block gap, and then we're going to place 1 quartz stair facing towards the right. We're then going to have a gap, and then 1 facing towards the left, and there's going to be a row of anvils here. Next to this, we're going to place 1 glowstone, and then again build up 3 using our jungle leaves. And then again we're going to repeat this but opposite, so we have 1 facing towards the right, gap facing towards the left. And there should be a 3-block gap now between this and the wall. So essentially this is the central eating kind of table area. So you always have the big strip of table, like the communal kind of eating area, and then you have the separate tables for people who want to be a bit more separated from the general people. So this area in the middle, what we're going to do is expand it back 9 blocks using our red stained clay. So behind this bush here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and on the 10th block we're going to place a glowstone in the floor and build up 3 using the bushes. So in between the 2 bushes, what we're going to do is get our red stained glass pane, and we're going to build across and this is going to be like a little, again, separator privacy window between the two sections. Now on PC, the glass will connect to the block right there. On Xbox, it clearly doesn't, but again, that's something you have to consider when you're placing it. So on this side, we're going to have some tables, same on this side. On this side, what we're going to do is the tables are going to be 2 by 2. So on the left side, we're going to have 2 seats on either side, then a 1 block gap, 2 seats, 1 block gap, 2 seats, 1 block, 2 seats, and then we're going to replicate this on this side. So you should have something that looks like this, an arrangement, should I say, that looks like this. In between these, we're going to place anvils, so that's what our table is going to be. So we're going to place anvils, and have the anvils facing sideways rather than facing towards the chairs. You could have them facing towards the chairs, but I think it looks better when they're facing sideways. Reason being is if you have them facing towards the chairs, there's a gap in between the table, and that's kind of weird considering it's a duo table. Now, on top of this, what we're going to do is place red carpets. Now, I think you have to crouch to place them. You do. And that will just give it like a, not kind of a napkin, but you know how on tables they have like the artificial plastic layer on top, the laminate layer, which is usually coloured, and that's the colour of the table. That's generally what that is. So we now currently have 4 tables. Now the gap between this part here and the wall is 4. We're going to be making this smaller in a second because we'll be adding another communal table right there. But anyways, for the right side of the barrier, the first table is going to be a 5-seater table. So we go 1, so the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to replicate this on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. In between these tables, again, we're going to have 5 sideways anvils. Whoops, and then our 1 red carpet on top of each one for the table. So, next, we're going to have 3 separate tables. So we leave a 1 block gap, we place 1, gap, place 1, gap, place 1. Again, we replicate this on the other side, so place 1, gap, place 1, gap, place 1. And then again, same as before, we just place an anvil in between each one with a red carpet on top, and then we have 3 2-seater tables. So currently, you should have something that looks like this. Now, as you can see, it's really, really dark, and that's what we're going to, in fact, work on now, is adding some lighting and lighting it up a tad. So the way we're going to do this is by having some hanging lights from the ceiling, and these hanging lights are going to have a 3 to 4 block gap in between each one, and the way we're going to have this is we're going to have our cobblestone wall with a sea lantern. So what we're going to do is directly above this first table here, we're going to look up, build down 2 using cobblestone wall, and place 1 sea lantern at the end, and it will look like this. Then what we're going to do is leave a 1, 2, 3, 4 block gap, and on the 5th one, which is this one, if you come below, it should be the gap in between the table. We're going to build down 2 sea lantern, and then for the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, place a cobblestone wall, down 1 sea lantern, and it should be the final table. So there's a 4 block gap in between each one, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 3 lights, and that will light up this whole general area. You can go ahead and copy this on this side if you want to, but I don't think it looks quite as good because it will bump against this wall right here. So what you could do, again, is, as I said, replicate it, and it will look like this. But again, it looks a bit clustered because it's against this side wall here. And there's no real solution towards that, but I'm going to do it in this video anyways, just so it's a bit more lit up and you can kind of get the point. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2, and our light, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2, and our light. So again, that's something you can play around with. In the original design, I only had the strip of lights here, not this side, but again, it does look relatively dark, so you can play around with it. So that is the first area of seating complete. The second area is going to be this area here, and it's going to be one of those tables where it's kind of like you rest against it, rather than somewhere you actually fully sit down. So what we're going to do is, if you haven't already, we're going to have a glowstone and a bush, a 3 tall bush on either side, and then all we're going to do is simply place an upside down stair facing towards the left side, or facing towards the right on the left side, and then the same on the right side towards the left, and it will look like this. Then what we're going to do is get a row of quartz slabs and just build all the way across on an upside down one, so you have half a gap underneath, and then all you need to do really is just place some random carpets on the upper part. So let's just place 2 right there, and you can go ahead and also grab a flower pot. I was about to say a plant pot. A flower pot or a plant pot. Don't combine the 2 because that's just weird. If I can find it, there you go. And just whack one next to it on either side, and that can kind of be like a leftover drink. So it's small details that just add to it a bit, and I like. so that's why I've done that. Again, you could add some secret lighting underneath, but that's up to you. So again, that's the second table complete, and now what we're going to do is come to this corner over here, where we're going to add some more stuff. So for this corner, what we're going to add, I thought rather than going with seating, I would add some like actual, I guess, bins, an area where you could dump stuff. So this one, we're just going to get rid of that and replace it with our typical andesite, because otherwise this corner becomes a bit too cluttered. And then for this corner right here, if I don't break the wall that is, we're going to place a bin. So same as what we did on the outside, we're going to place a cauldron, and on top of that we're going to place a red wall as the like top plastic bit, and then we're going to place signs surrounding it. So we get our sign, if I can find it, and place one on either side, and that is your bin. Now again, what you could do is add a light here by just simply placing a sea lantern with a cobblestone wall on top. Again, it doesn't look too great, but it's up to you. You can play around with it a bit. For this one, you can in fact add a bush if you feel it is too dark, because it is on reflection looking a bit dark. So just place a glowstone in the floor with a free tool bush. Same with this one. Make sure all the bushes are free tool. I don't know why. That's just something I like having. So anyways, for this back strip here, what we're going to do is in the top left corner, we're going to place a glowstone and a free tool bush. And in this middle one, we're in fact going to get rid of it. In between this, we're going to do the exact same as what we did on this wall. So on the left side, we have an upside down stair facing towards the right. Right side, upside down stair facing towards the left. And then we're going to place a row of upside down quartz slabs, which is going to be our seating area. So on this one, again, you can go ahead and add some carpets to act like dirty, like leftover food slash plates. And also some flower pots to add as like empty drinks, because people leave their rubbish everywhere in KFC, let's be real, so it's always good to have some leftover stuff behind. Now one thing you can add, again just to light up the area a bit, is directly in line with this red stained clay pillar here, we build up two, and on the third block we can place a cobblestone stair, or a cobblestone wall should I say, with a sea lantern on top, and that can be like a side lighting fixture. So far it should look like this. It's looking a bit busy, and in some cases a bit dark, but again, that's something you can work on, adding some hidden lighting. Even if you really wanted to, you could do something similar to what you did over here, where you just make the floor sea lanterns and then cover it with carpet. But that's, again, your choice. You can play around with it. We're now going to work on the final side of the restaurant, which is this side here, which is again going to be more of the isolated tables. So, first off, what we're going to do is get our glowstone, and right next to this red stained clay here, we're going to place a glowstone, build up 3, and that's going to connect to a divider, and again, add a bit more lighting. What we're also going to do is make some bins. So, in this corner next to the plant, we're going to place a cauldron, and we're going to do the same next to this one. So, we've got a cauldron either side. Again, on top of each one, we're going to place a red carpet, and surround it by signs, and that will be the bins. So of course you can put stuff on the bin saying like place your litter here, whatever you want to do, but it's just a small little touch and adds quite a bit of detail, so it's always nice. But for these tables, what we're going to do is we're going to start off right here. We're going to count 1, 2, bring it forwards, place a chair. We're then going to kind of build around a center point, and the center point is going to be right here. So we have 4 chairs of all quartz stairs, and place a anvil facing towards this wall here. On top of this, we're going to place a white carpet, so we're not going for fully red around this build. It's going to be a white carpet, and then we're going to replicate this twice more, each time with a 1 block gap in between. So, 1 block gap, then we have a chair facing towards the middle, and we do this going all the way around. We have our anvil facing towards the side, and then of course we have our carpet on top as the finishing touch. Now, that's the one thing that kind of sucks about doing the anvil tables, is you can't put like cups and stuff because you're limited with space, but again, it's not too big of a deal, and it's something you can always work around. In terms of this bush, get rid of it, and what you can go ahead and do is place one right here, so go in line with the center of the gap, and then place a bush right there. It just makes more sense, and it also means you have room for another one, which you can place over here once we've done this table. So for this table, again, leave 1 block gap, place one facing towards the center point, which is in this case going to be this block here, table facing towards that side with a white wool carpet on top, and then what I was saying before, in line with the gap, place a glowstone and free tool of leaves. And once you've done that, you have got your little isolated seating area, more of like the family table kind of range. And yeah, with that said, that is pretty much the interior of our KFC complete. Again, you can play around with this lighting. I'm not sure how I feel about it. completely. In the original design, I didn't include that. I just had it looking like this. One thing we can do as well for the tables over here is we can in fact build up one using your any block of choice on top of the carpet, and then we're going to place a sea lantern and build up two on top of that using cobblestone wool to attach it to the roof. And you do that on both of the other ones as well. So up one block, sea lantern, cobblestone wool times 2, punch out the original block. And for this one again, original block, sea lantern, 2 cobblestone wool, punch out the original block, and you'll have 3 lights above each table, kind of like a lamp for each table to light up each one, and it will have a gap that's quite sizable in between, so it's not in the person's face. But with that said, again, that is the build complete. I'm going to clear out my inventory and show you a little bit around. Again, you can play around and customize whatever you feel is necessary. It's your build, so do what you want. But I do hope you enjoy this segment, and we'll also be showing you again in this video how to build the exterior. So you walk in through here, you got on the left this section of divider. On the right you've got the kitchen, which looks like this. Again, I'm kind of like zoomed out so you can pause if you want. I don't know how much use it's going to be because it's not set dimensions, but you can always pause if you want. You come around to the left and you've got the seating area here. We got the big table on the wall where it's just generally you stand to eat rather than sit for those who are in a rush. You got this central island area where you have the more restaurant booth kind of style seats with the bigger party style table. In the corner we have a bin, some bushes just for lighting purposes, and then over here we have another, again, stand-up table. Our ceiling, of course, the sea lantern's set up there behind the carpets, makes the ceiling glow a bit. I really like it. I hope you do. But with that said, again, this is this stage of the tutorial complete. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you are enjoying so far, definitely consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. But yeah, we're now going to move on to the second part, which is, of course, the exterior. Okay, so for the exterior, one thing we're going to note before we start is the gap between the building and the road. Now, if you've done this on your own world and you've already got it built like right up next to the road, then this tutorial is probably not going to be much use for you because this is all based on the fact that you're building to the way I've done it. But if you have done it your own way, then that's awesome. Go ahead and do that. Again, this is probably not going to be too handy for you. So, in my case, what I've done is the gap between the actual building and the road. So, what I class as a building is being this doorway arch here, the gap from the first point out, which is this cobblestone wall. So, the gap is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we start with our road here. So, again, to bear in mind, it's a 12 block gap. What we're going to start off by doing is doing the outlines of the actual patio area, and then we'll work on the drive-through stuff and the car park afterwards. But again, it's definitely good to consider the measurements, and if you are working with set measurements, maybe consider factoring it in and trying to work around it. Alternatively, again, if you're working with a much lesser area, then I wouldn't really bother with this tutorial. I'd say go with what you've done and do that, and it should look relatively good anyways. So what we're going to do is, again, as I just mentioned, do a brief outline using our stone slabs. So we're going to come to the front doorway and come to the right pillar, the one we just started at, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of it using our stone slabs. Now what you could do to like factor in here, because we can't really put a stone slab there, you could put a double one and have it looking like that, but then you'd have to do it on this side. So what I prefer to do is punch out the underneath block, replace that with a stone slab, and then do it that way. Now the thing is, to the right of it is going to be covered all by bushes and grass and greenery, so you're not really going to notice it that much, so I don't really think it's that much of a problem. So anyways, what we're going to do is from here we're going to go 24 blocks to the left. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, if you've done it correctly, from this quartz block here, it should overextend 1, 2, 3 blocks to the left, and it should look like this currently. Now, as you see, it's kind of just a right-angle corner that makes you go all the way down the front of the building, and then we're going to make it curve around to the left side of the building. So, the way we're going to curve it is we're going to go up diagonal to the left and to the left twice, and we're going to do this twice. So, for the second time, up diagonal to the left twice. We're then going to repeat this, but this time we're going to be going forwards rather than to the left. So we go up diagonal and then forwards twice, up diagonal and then forwards twice. As you can see, it gives us a nice curve rather than just a to the point right angled corner, which doesn't look quite as good, and I think this way just makes it look smoother and more modern and sleek. Next, what we're going to do is go up diagonal to the left and then up 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in total that is 11. We're then going to go up diagonal to the right this time, and up 1, up diagonal and then to the right, up diagonal and then to the right 8 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you want to, what you could do here is connect it like so by placing 2 blocks. You don't really need these ones here, they're pretty irrelevant, and it will connect up perfectly to the side of the building. Alternatively, what you could do is just link it to this part here, and again you'll have a little gap here which we can put some bushes later, and in total it will link up and give you a nice big patio area, which is what we want. So again, just go over the dimensions. We got the first part, which is 4 wide. This big old strip here is 25. We got 3, 3, 3, 3, 11, 2, 2, and then 9. So again, this whole area here will be filled in with our polished andesite. You should already have these half slabs here from the original building video which we did on the main channel. If you haven't seen that, I definitely suggest checking it out. In fact, if you haven't seen that, I don't know why you'd be watching this, because you wouldn't have the KFC build that we've got in front of us. But anyways, with that said, that is the outline of the patio area. We're now going to be doing the outline of the car park. So for the car park, we're going to come back to where we started, in front of this right pillar outside the front, and where this stone slab turns off to the left, we're going to carry on going forwards. We're going to punch out, so we're not building on top, we're punching out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the 9th block should be the first block of the road, in this case the side of the road, and what we're going to do is replace this with stone slabs, and that will give us the right outline for our car park. For the left outline of the car park, we're going to come all the way to the end of this big old strip of 25, and right at the very end block right here, we're going to punch out 1, and then go all the way towards the road, which I believe should be 10 blocks, and then again, like what we did on the other side, replace it all with stone slabs indented into the floor. So this whole area here is going to be our car park. Now what we're going to do is punch out the lines in the car park. The whole car park itself is going to be black wool. However, the lines are going to be out of quartz. They could be out of white wool if you use white wool for the roads, but as you can see here, I've used quartz. But it's up to you. You can have a bit of customizability with this. This is not set in stone. You can feel free to do whatever you want, really. So for the car park, each bay is going to be 4 wide, and the reason why I've chosen to do that is because it just makes it work equally. We're dealing with an odd number here, so if you do it any other like number, it's going to mess up. So what we're going to do is come to the left side with the slabs right here, and then we're going to count 4 grass and then place 1 quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th one, 1 quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 5th one, 1 quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one, 1 quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one, 1 quartz, and then you should have 4 blocks on this side. As you can see, that will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bays, like so. And what we're going to do with our quartz is we're going to bring it 6 forwards. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we do this on each one. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then same for the other 2. And once you've gone ahead and punched out all the lines, should be looking like this. We go ahead and fill it all in using quartz, so we have 7 long lines of quartz. Okie dokie, so once you've gone ahead and filled that all in, the remainder of this area is just going to be black wool, and I'll punch it all out in a second and show you in a mini montage what it should be looking like. This whole strip of stone slabs here as well will be replaced with black wool, and it will merge with the road and look really nice. Now regarding our actual exit of our drive-through, so we're going to be doing the right exit first, then we'll come back to the left side in a second. We're going to start over here, actually at the drive-through exit, which we've already got. Now I kind of cut it off here in the video because that's as far as you really need it. However, from this point here, what we're going to do is expand it 9 blocks forwards. So again, we're going to be punching it into the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now what we're going to do, essentially, is from this block here, we're going to link it to this one here. So at the end of this strip, we go to the right one, and then we're going to go diagonal to the right 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will link up perfectly like so. We're then going to go ahead and fill this all in using our stone slabs and this strip of 9 here as well. And that will give you a link from this part here to the main road area. Now this whole area is going to be filled with greenery, just random decorations. This area is going to be the road. So what we're going to do is from this point, on the right side, we're going to bring it forwards 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to bring it forwards one more, in fact, so 12 blocks. And then we're going to go diagonal to left twice. And again, it will link up to the road, and we'll fill it in using our stone slabs. And this whole area inside the stone slab region is going to be black wool. So this whole area is going to be black wool. This area, again, is going to link up to the main road and be black wool, including that block there. So it goes 2 blocks, and then we're going to have our black wool. So I'll punch all this area out just so it's clear which areas is going to be black wool. So, this whole area here, inside the stone slab region, is going to be black wool. This whole area here is also going to be black wool. This is going to be bushes, but we'll worry about that later on in the video. So, we're making good progress. What we're going to work on now is the drive-through entrance, which is the left side. So, of course, for this, we're going to start on the left side, right here at the left side of the car park. What we're going to do is count 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 5th block, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to replace this with stone slabs. So this is all set into the floor again, because we're working with the drive-through rather than the patio area. We've got the raised level around the patio area because it's like where pedestrians are going to be. You don't want your cars rolling in, whereas when it's dealing with roads and stuff, it doesn't really matter. I guess theoretically, you're dealing with curves and stuff, but it's just details. If you want to make it raised, you can. What we're then going to do is go diagonal and forwards 6 times. So diagonal, forwards, diagonal, forwards, diagonal, forwards, diagonal, forwards, diagonal, forwards, and one last time, diagonal, forwards. So 6 times where you go diagonal forwards, like so, and then again we go ahead and fill it all in using our stone slabs. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go diagonal, but this time we're going to bring it forwards a few blocks. So we're going to bring it forwards 13. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 blocks. So, as you can see, it's 14 in total. We go ahead and fill this in using our stone slabs. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to go up diagonal to the left, or if you're facing this way, up diagonal to right. So basically looping around to this point over here. We're then going to go up 1, then we go up diagonal again, and to the right 1. So it's starting to loop around and get to this point here. Then what we're going to do is then go up diagonal again and build it all the way across until we hit this point right here where our stone slabs previously ended from the original tutorial. And it will link up perfectly, and that's going to be the inner loop for the entrance for the drive-through. So again, this whole area here is going to be like bushes and shrubbery and general like decoration. And then this area here is going to be the drive-through. So, for the outside layer of the drive-through, what we're going to do is come to this original part here of the inside layer, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, we're going to punch it out, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, forwards. So this is where we're going to start the next part. So as you can see, again, there should be a 4-block gap. You can go ahead and punch this part out. This will be black wool. And then for this layer, we're going to fill it in the 4 blocks using our stone slabs again. From here, what we're going to do is go outwards diagonal, so to diagonal to the left, and then forwards, and we're going to replicate this 4 more times. So again, diagonal forwards, and then twice more, and that will be 5 times we've done that, and we're going to go ahead and fill it in using our stone slabs yet again. Next, what we're going to do is go diagonal, but this time we're going to go forwards 20 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In total, that is 21. And if you've done it correctly, it should come in line with this inside strip of the actual main drive-through. Again, go ahead and fill this in with stone slabs. And now all we've got to do is kind of like corner it so that it ends up going to this point right there, as you can see. So the way we're going to do this is going to go diagonal to right and forwards. we're going to go diagonal to right into the right one, and this is the corner. So we place these 4 blocks of stone slabs. Then what we're going to do is go diagonal to right and then go 15 blocks over. In this case, just build all the way across and you'll link up perfectly with this row here. We just go ahead and fill it all in with stone slabs, and that is the outskirts of our drive-through complete. And in total, that is the outline of all the exterior done. So again, just to define what we need to do in this next part, because I'm going to do it as like a little speed up time lapse. This part here is all going to be polished andesite, this block right here. This area, so going all the way around, that was my race car sound effect, awful. Right up to here is black wool, and this whole area here is also black wool. This area we keep as grass, same with this area all the way around to here, it stops, and then the same applies to this area right here, this is all grass. So what I'm going to do now is like a little speed up kind of like montage of me punching all the blocks out, having a great time and replacing them, and then you'll come back in a second and see what it should be looking like and compare it and hopefully have something that looks the exact same. With that said, I'm going to montage now and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so what you can see as I've gone ahead and done in that little speeded up clip is go around the whole drive-through all the way around to what we already previously done, filling in with black wool. We filled in this patio area of our polished andesite, the car park, and also the exit of the drive-through that links up to the road. So currently you should have something that looks like this. Now it looks really complete in the sense that you could get away with just having this. What we're going to be doing in this video as like an extra touch, we're going to be adding some like shrubbery, some greenery, but we're also going to be adding a little like outside eating area and also the little like menus you get at the drive-through booth. So we're not done, we have still quite a bit to do, but for what we're going to do for now is start adding some greenery and kind of like messing it up a bit, but not. So what you tend to find when you go to a fast food restaurant is they'll kind of have like a perimeter bush which kind of separates the car park from the outside streets. It will either be a fence or a bush. Normally it's like greenery and bushes and stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be messing it up a bit and adding some good old nature. So if you really wanted to, you could go whack a custom tree or two on either side of the mini car park. What I'm going to be doing, which is a lot simpler and probably a lot less effective, but that's about as far as my actual gardening skills go, is just putting a bunch of bushes everywhere. So what we're going to be doing is underneath the bushes next to the building, we're going to be placing glowstone underneath. And the reason why we're doing that is so that the building kind of glows a bit. So all you do is go and put some glowstone right there. You can build this bushes up a bit, so it's like this. And then all you're going to do is go ahead and just randomly place bushes. So as you can see here, I'm just going around randomly placing them. You want to get quite a few on the outskirts of the actual build, so that you have a nice like clean perimeter. And then from there you can just go ahead and start punching out random areas and filling in random areas and just get a random general shape. It doesn't really matter the actual fully finished shape you get. It really doesn't matter that much. As you can see here, it's just a random shape. And then what you go ahead and do is in all the gaps, just go ahead and whack a tall grass. So the ones that are too tall inside every single gap, and it just gives you a really like bushy, overgrown area. And it just adds a bit of detail that you wouldn't have otherwise. So as you can see there, it's up to you whether you like that or not. If you want to keep it plain, then you can. Personally, I just think it adds something to it. If not much, it adds something. And what you can go ahead and do is do this all the way around the building if you really wanted to. I think it would be a bit overkill if you did, to be honest. But yeah, you can just play around with it, adding random bushes everywhere and just seeing how it comes out in the end. That's pretty much the best way you can go about doing things. So again, that's open for experimentation. And same applies to this side, so you can just go ahead and whack random bushes everywhere and just see how it goes. Again, if you're looking for something that's a bit more like defined and a bit more controlled, then this probably isn't the way you want to go about things. However, again, my channel probably isn't, again, the best because I don't do exterior and I don't do gardening and stuff like that too much. So this is just me doing as much as I really can do when it comes to showing you how to do exterior tips. So again, as you can see here, I'm just making it go all the way around, just placing random blocks everywhere and hoping it comes out nice. Because that's generally how it works, is if you just place it randomly, it will generally come out pretty nice looking. And then if it doesn't, you can just play around with it a bit and it will generally, after that, come out looking pretty decent. So as you can see here, I've just gone around and placed, again, random bushes. Under these parts here, you can go ahead and place glowstone if you want to, next to the building, so that it has a glow to it, of course. Hence the glow part in the name. And for these ones, you want to put bushes on top, because otherwise you won't be able to place the tall grass. And then again, all we do is go around in the gaps and just place tall grass. So again, it's not really something that I would really recommend you copy block for block. It's more so just place randomly and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go well, then just fix up. If it goes great, then great. As you can see here, it's not looking too bad. And I'll show you what it looks like when you back up a bit. It just adds a bit of colour to the build, makes it look a bit more detailed than if you just left it plain. So as you can see, that's what it looks like once you've done that, and that gives us two clear, like, obvious things now which we need to work on, which is this part here, and also the side of the drive-through. So again, if you want to add this to the actual perimeter of the drive-through as well, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm not going to do that because it will take too much time and make the video like extremely long and probably quite boring. So instead, we're just going to focus on the drive-through menus, and then we'll go around to the front and again start working on the little patio area. So for the little drive-through menus, what we're going to do is, of course, come to the main drive-through part where we've got this like under the roof part where you go round and it curves round to the windows, this part. So we want to come to the main strip, this long part here where we've got the pillars on the left side, and we come to the second pillar. So we've got the first one, which is here, and we come to the second one, which is this one right here. What we're going to do is go diagonal forwards to the left, so 1, 2, twice, and then we're going to place one quartz block, build it up one, and then diagonal to the left of this, we're going to place a quartz block and build it up one. So it's essentially two pillars of two quartz blocks, and what you can go ahead and do once you've done that is grab your item frames, if I can find them in the menu that is, there we go, and whack them on here. And the good thing about item frames is that they can be kind of taking up the same hitbox, whereas if you had a sign, you wouldn't be able to have a sign here. You can with item frames, so it's great. What you can go ahead and do is then add the items on your menu. So I'm presuming, seeing as it's KFC, you would have a lot of cooked chicken, and then you could potentially offer some other goodies. But again, you just replicate this twice more. So we get our quartz, we go to the next pillar, the third pillar. We go diagonal from the pillar here once, twice, up 2, and then diagonal again up 2. Get our item frames, whack them on, and again, whoops, that's not an item frame. You can customize it a bit, so you can put like cakes and stuff like that, and then you repeat it once more. So you go to this one, diagonal twice, up 2, and then diagonal up 2 again. You do it, the item frames, and you currently have 3 menu boards. Now there is a fourth, and the fourth one is on the actual corner. Now you could argue this one isn't necessary because the actual like place where you're going to order is going to be right here. But what you can do is you can come to this corner part here, and you can basically just go out diagonal from this second block, or this one. So you could just go out 2, and then from this one out 1, 2, and you have a corner one. Now again, whether that's necessary or not, it's up to you. You can add it if you want. Don't add it if you don't want. Again, it's your choice. For the actual like place where you order your food, what we're going to do is in line with the third one, so this one here, right in front of this bush, on the strip of 3, on the second block we're going to place 2 red wool, and on the second high part we're going to place a stone button. So that's going to be like the little mic / intercom, and then what you can go ahead and do is whack some signs on there if you really want to, which would say like order here, or you could just make it so it's like a little outline to establish that it's a box. So again, it's up to you, you can play around with that. I'm just going to keep it as 2 red wool with a stone button on. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Maybe an order here sign would be kind of standard. But as you can see, again, this is where you put the little speaker, and then you've got 4 of the little menu boards. So the last thing that leaves us with for the exterior of the build is this little strip here out the front and round the side of the restaurant. So for this, we're going to have a little like eating area, and the blocks you're going to need, which I just deleted, are going to be spruce planks. You'll need some spruce wood stairs, which are going to be the actual seats. We're going to need some of the cobblestone walls, which we're going to use as bollards. We're going to need some red wool and some white wool, and also our stone slabs again. So what we're going to do is, of course, come round to this area here. We're going to start making the actual seating area first, because I think it's probably the most detailed part, so it's best to get that out of the way. So we come to the left side of the area, to this strip of 9 stone slabs right here. At the end of it, what we're going to do is count 1, 2, 3, and on the third block we're going to count 1, 2, 3 to the right, and on the fourth block we're going to place 1 spruce plank. What we're then going to do is surround it by 4 spruce wood stairs, but what we're going to do is leave a 1 block gap. So we go 1 block gap, 1, on this side 1 block gap, 1, this side 1 block gap, 1, and on the final side 1 block gap, 1, and there should be a 1 block gap again between this and the outer slab. So that is technically 1 table, 1 chair. What you can then do is build up 2 on top of this using your cobblestone slabs. We then place 1 red wool, surround it by 1 white wool on either side, and then in the 4 corners place 1 red wool, and it gives you kind of a red and white striped umbrella. And on top of the centre block, which is the red wool, you place 1 stone slab, and that gives you a little eating area with a red and white umbrella, of course KFC kind of branding, and 4 chairs around it. Now we're going to replicate this twice more. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to count from this chair here, 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th block, place a spruce plank, and then again we're going to do the exact same. So we surround it by chairs, so we leave 1 block gap, chair, 1 block gap, chair, 1 block gap, chair, and then of course chair. We build up 2 using our cobblestone wool, red wool, surround with white wool, place 1 red wool in each corner, and then finally place the stone slab on top of the centre block, which is of course the red wool. So it's the exact same, we just do it once more again. So we count 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th block we place a spruce plank, gap, chair, gap, chair, gap, chair, gap, chair, 2 cobblestone wool, red wool, surround it by white wool. Again, I'm doing this quite fast because I think it's pretty self-explanatory from the first one. You just make sure that there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block gap in between each of the spruce planks, so the bases of the table, and that is the 3rd table and chairs complete. So once you've done that, you can have something like this. Alternatively, you can go and whack some random chairs around just like they've been left around, which you tend to find is the case at like fast food chains. There'll be chairs everywhere just randomly where people have got up and just left the chairs. So what we can also go ahead and do is add a few random bins. I'm going to add mine in the corner right here, so where the 3 blocks combine, we're going to place a bin right in the corner, and we're also going to get 2 signs, and we're going to put it on the side of it, so you could put like leave litter here. And a finishing touch for the bins, which I like to add, is put a piece of red carpet on top, because the bins you normally get are like plastic, and then they have the bit of plastic on top as well, and the part you actually put the bin in is like a little slot, which is kind of what this represents. So that's the reason why I've done that. So that's 1 bin, and we'll be adding more to the front as well. But for now, what we're going to do is add the bollards. Now the reason why there's bollards, and if you don't know what bollards are, it's a little concrete post, is so that if some crazy guy around here is driving his car and he accidentally loses control, if he smashes into here, he's going to smash into the concrete pillars, the bollards, and not into the people eating their food. So that's the logic behind that. So, starting here, we're going to start on the left side, in fact, all the way over by the building. In the top left corner, we're going to place 1 right there. We're then going to leave a 1, 2, 3 block gap, and on the 4th block, place 1. We're then going to leave a 2 block gap and place 1. So ideally, I'd want to have a 3 block gap on either side. Of course, that's not possible because of the way we've done this. So it's a 3 block gap and then a 2 block gap. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go down diagonal, down to right 1, place 1 here. Down diagonal to right 1, place 1 here. And then we're going to leave a 2 block gap, place 1. So 1, 2, place, 1, 2, place, 1, 2, place. We're then going to go up diagonal, 1, 2, place. this would be where the next one would be, of course, if there wasn't a bin. And then what we're going to do is just place one in each corner, so one there and one there. And that brings us around to the front side of the building, but we'll worry about that in a second. I'll give you guys an opportunity to pause if you need to, catch up again if you want. So this is the little patio area with our seating, and of course we've got the bollards around the area kind of protecting the people that would be eating there. It's generally something you'd see at a fast food chain. Would there be some form of fence or protection around the eating area, because I guess it's just standard safety rules and regulation. But with that said, of course we're at the front of the build now, so we're going to start adding some details to here. So what we're going to do is from this bollard here, we're going to leave a 3-block gap and place another one. We're then going to leave a 1-block gap, place a bin, 1-block gap, bollard, 3-block gap, bollard, 1-block gap, bin, 1-block gap, bollard, and then again we just rinse and repeat. So 3 blocks, bollard, and then 3 blocks, and we're going to place a bollard right there to curve it round. So we've got the 2 bins, and they're in between the bollards, and they're kind of near the parking area, just so that just before people leave, they would leave their rubbish rather than just dumping it. Of course, on top of each one, just place a red carpet, or a white carpet, it's up to you, and then just surround them by signs, and it just makes it a bit more realistic, I guess. And you, of course, have your 2 bins at the front, 1 at the side, and then your bollards at the front to stop the cars crashing into the front of the restaurant, because that wouldn't be ideal. So anyways, the final 2 touches we're going to add is right next to this cobblestone wall here, we're going to place 1 stone slab, and in fact underneath it we're also going to place 1 stone slab, and it will kind of cap it off and make it look like this. But with that said, that is the exterior of the KFC done, and it should link up perfectly to the road, and it will have a nice surrounding area, just a bit of detail. I know a lot of the stuff is probably not necessary, such as the bushes, but I just feel it adds something nice to it and makes it a tad original. But apart from that, again, I'm going to get rid of my arm, give you guys an opportunity to pause at each angle. So this is the front side. I don't know how much help it will be, just having like side-on angle shots, but I don't know, just in case anyone out there does in fact want it. So I'm going to do a little like panoramic spin around the outside and show you guys what we've done. And if you did have any issues, again, let me know, and go back in the video, see where you went wrong, try and figure it out yourself, and if you can't, then again let me know and I'll see what I can do, and probably try and help you as much as I can on an individual basis. So you have reached the end of the tutorial. I really do hope you enjoyed. Again, congrats for sticking it out throughout the whole time. I know it was a really long and drawn out video, but I thought I'd go nice and slowly to give you guys the opportunity to pause and take your time if you wanted to. I hope it was fine, and please do let me know any feedback you have in the comments below. It'd be very much appreciated. But that said, I'm not going to talk for much longer. Again, I've already taken enough of your day already, so if you did enjoy, again, please do consider subscribing. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. My name has been Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?